Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing Colorado X, Colorado 10. And I just can't tell you how excited I am to actually be playing this series one more time. So thank you, Florian, for continuing with them. Very, very excited. So the plan for today, or at least this evening, was given we've played a few difficult puzzles this weekend, particularly like a 3-star difficulty rated puzzle. I was actually planning to sort of wrap up the weekend for the week ahead with a more approachable 1-star difficulty rating. But you know that Colorado inspired this channel, that after playing one of them, I think it was Colorado 8 or 7, I just thought all of the rest absolutely are noteworthy of attention and started this channel to get it and get it up and running. So if you haven't actually seen the previous ones in the series, I'm going to try and leave a link up here for them, so that you do go ahead and actually explore them, because they're absolutely all stunning. Now, a bit of nostalgia meant that when it came to the thumbnail, given we're on the 10th in the series, I sort of started to really push the limit with wordplay on what would Colorado look like in terms of a thumbnail. Sometimes it's been about dinosaurs, kind of a reference to Denver City and Denver the dinosaur, kind of a cartoon if you're a similar age of me, one I was certainly watching as I was growing up. But just the nostalgia meant I couldn't do anything better than just going back to the mountain scenery, the forests, the camping. Although Sleuth there is clearly investigating something with his colleagues. Hopefully everyone is well and it's not just interviewing a whole bunch of witnesses to some sort of heinous crime. Right, enough of the intro. Let's take a look at the actual puzzle. So, Colorado 10 by Florian Wortmann. Following set of rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Now in the same sentence, and I can understand why, Florian said also digits may not repeat on the marked diagonals. So you can see 2 diagonal lines here in blue, and I think it makes sense to actually call it out with normal Sudoku rules, because given each diagonal is 9 cells in length, you know that they also have the digits 1 to 9 once each. We also have the anti-knight move, so identical digits cannot be a knight's move apart. For example, if this cell here was a 5, well, not only can it not have a 5 in the column or the row, given the normal Sudoku rules, or the box of course, we also can't do diagonals, we also can't do any of these diagonals. And now we also can't do a chess knight move away from that 5. So chess knight move 2 steps forward, 1 step to the side, or 1 step to the side, 2 steps forward, etc, etc, etc. And you can see what a huge impact it has on the central digit in terms of it's so limited in terms of where you can actually place it. Then we have, of course, the signature part of Colorado, which is the XV. So any cells joined by an X must sum to 10. So for example, if this here was a 2, this would have to be an 8 to make sure that on aggregate these 2 cells add up to 10. We also have cells joined by a 5 must sum up to 5. So if this is a 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure that these 2 cells add up to 5. Now, many of the Colorado series have negative constraints. This one does not. I tend to really like the ones that have that, so that there's nothing wrong with having something like this, 2 and 8, without an X between them, and 2 and 3 without a V between them. That does not break the rule sets today. 2 more rules to go. One is the black Kropke dot. So these 2 cells must be in a 2 to 1 ratio. So if this cell here was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to make sure that these 2 cells are in a, one of them is double the other. Again, not all dots are given. So nothing stops me from having next to this 3 a 6 in here. Last rule is the cell with the gray circle contains an odd digit. There's only one of them. Essentially, that would mean it can't be a 4. It could be 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. And essentially, one of them is going to be the correct answer. So, if you feel like traveling down memory lane here, or visiting Colorado State and its beauty and this phenomenal series from Florian, link will be in the description down below for you to play along as usual. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So something that I've traditionally done with this series is immediately I color all of the X's and V's. So these 2 cells I'm going to call blue, these two cells I'm going to call green. Reason for that is if you think about two cells that add up to 5, they can only be one of two pairs, a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. Doesn't matter which one is this one right now, but the fact is it's going to be one type, so either the 1-4 or 2-3, and because these two cells are looking at this cell, we know that's a different pair. Same again here, these have to be different, that's green. Same again here, that has to be different from green, that's back to blue. One more thing I tend to do is essentially I color these items red. If you think about how do you get to 10, if you've got 1, 2, 3, or 4, well, it's essentially 6 or 9 or 7 and 8, meaning it's a high digit. You can disambiguate these and have different colors for red, but I'll show in a second my intention here with letters. I say in a second. This green here is looking at this V, so this is definitely blue as well. And because this is blue, well, we've used all two of them. This is a green-red pair, and I don't know yet what this is. So, letters. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring up the numpad for a second, and I'm going to focus on this bottom one for a moment. It's a bad one to use because it doesn't actually see anything, but it's illustrative for now. So essentially what I'm going to do is, actually, do I have a better one? Let me just check that yeah, it's visible. The top one here, let's start there. So essentially what I can have in here is, if I put this cell as D, this cell here, what I'm essentially saying for the red is going to be whatever is straight across the E from it. So it'll be F. If that was an A, as in A here, it'll be I, so straight across. And as long as I'm consistent about it, it will make sure that whatever cells I actually place in terms of letters are going to be correct. So hopefully that was useful as a quick reminder, or at least if you haven't seen that before. Right, let's get on with putting some letters. I'm actually going to use capitals in here, just in case I make silly mistakes. So A, D means that this is an A, this is a D, across from the A would be an I. This is B and C, but I'm not tempted to color them just yet or place letters in them. Here's something though. And earlier this weekend, we've actually solved a puzzle that was all about black crop key dots and parity. So I know that this cell is 1 or 3, which I know means it's either blue or green because it's all the low digits are one of these 4 cells, but it's not blue because both of the blues see this cell. It is in fact green. And I'm not going to actually use numbers for the moment. I am going to actually continue with letters. I'm going to call this, sorry about that, B. C, B. You can see with this diagonal now, this B is seeing a C in here, and therefore this is B. Across from C would be G, and we'll figure out the rest in a moment. Just a quick reminder of why I said that this has to be low. If you think about all of the crop key pairs, 1, 2, 2, 4, 4, 8, and 3, 6, which one of these pairs includes an odd digit? And it can only be these two. So essentially this B is joined either with a 2, which would be a blue cell, because if this is a 1, its counterpart, the C, would be 4 to make sure that they add up to 5, and essentially this would be a blue cell, one of A or D. Or it's a 3 and its partner is a 6 and it will be a red cell. Hopefully that's clear why I've painted this cell at least green. Let's see what else. We've got B and C looking at this cell, so this is clearly blue or red. Don't know what that is yet. And now we're really going to have to start pushing the diagonals and the anti-knight moves quite hard to make some progress. Oh, maybe not that hard. Look at B in this kind of middle section. So in the context of box 8, well, none of these can be B, just Sudoku. Not this, again, Sudoku. Also, not this cell, anti-knight move. So B is actually placed in box 8. None of these are B now, and B is clearly not blue. This is B or H. This cell is seen by the diagonal. That's B. That's H. And I can actually fix the colors for them as well. Right. I'm going to keep working at this. So A's and D's, for example. Oh, sorry. I'm going to just pencil mark these. I don't know which one they are. But let's just... So A and D are here, meaning that they've got to be there in box 2. Although this is not A because... Clearly not Q. It's not A because of the anti-knight move. That's not D because of the anti-knight move. Got the same thing going on in here, A and D. So A and D in there. That's not a D. One of these is A. Don't know what this cell is, so we can't eliminate anything just yet. What else can I see? Interestingly, C is none of these 3 cells. So not classic Sudoku, not knight move, and not the diagonal. So C is limited to one of these 3 cells. What can I do with C? C is in one of these 2 cells. Just classic Sudoku and anti-knight move. Meaning C is classic Sudoku, not the diagonal. And we've already said this can't be C. C is in here. Essentially, again, if this is 1 or 3, its counterpart will be either 4 or 2. So if it's 1, 4, if it's 3, 3, it'll be 2. Clearly, none of these can be joined with a black dot. So that places C in here. Now C in this box is none of these cells. None of these cells is in one of these 2 cells. Which means it's not this cell. It is this cell. It's not this cell, anti-knight move. It's this cell. C's are lining up in here, meaning that C is one of these 3 cells. And we'll use Sudoku and anti-knight move to actually place it now. It's not this C. It's not this C, knight move. That's C. That can only be from the 2 that we had in here. Let me just, if you don't mind, I'm going to rewrite it so it's a bit clearer. So this is A, D, or C. We already said that's not D. C is not that one. So this can only be A. That's easy enough. C can't be in here. Knight move. That's the only one that can be C. That's a D. That's 3 letters placed. A can't be this cell. That's a knight move. A. And we're making good progress. Sort of waiting for it to all come crashing down in a second. But this is going reasonably well. Kind of unexpectedly so. So B, you can see, is in one of 2 cells in here. That means B is in one of 3 there. Just, Sudoku eliminating all of these cells. Now this cell actually eliminates 2 of them. Classic, and obviously we've also got the diagonal, but anti-knight move, that's B. B in here is not this cell either because of the diagonal. So it's one of 2 cells. I don't think I'm going to pencil mark this one. It's one of 4 cells right now. And until I do better than that, I'm not going down that route. So that's kind of a halt for B's. C's. This box for a second. Yeah, this box is helpful. It's one of 2 cells. Just not knight move, not classic. It's one of 2. And it's actually this cell. If you look in box 1, where does C go? Well, we know it's not this cell. We also know it's not this cell because of the diagonal. We also know it's not this cell because of the 2 anti-knight moves. So where does C go in column 3? It can only be in here. And now C in box 1 is limited to these 2 cells, which is forming an X-wing. So that's as far as we can take C for the moment. And we're back to A's, D's again. And this is starting to get fairly tricky. We're going to sort of keep an eye out for, unusual. Actually, here's something. So we need A on this diagonal, because we actually haven't placed it anywhere yet. I know it's not these two cells. It can be this cell. In fact, let's just think about box 5 for a second. It's in one of 3 cells. It's not here, because that would eliminate here on the diagonal, and both of these with anti-knight move. So A can't be here on the diagonal. So far it's only either this cell or this cell. Let's just think what else about box 7. Yeah, I mean, looking at it, can't be this one. Again, would eliminate both of these with classic, and this one with anti-knight move, so it would break box 4. So it can be here. It unfortunately seemingly can be here. It would eliminate A there, it would put A in one of 2 cells, forcing A to be here. That doesn't work. And the reason I know this doesn't work is, where is A on the diagonal? If I place A here, well, I know it's not on this diagonal. And I can't put it on this diagonal now because it's a knight's move away. So A can't be here either. So A seemingly is not in any of these 3 cells. And that's helpful. At least we know that A has to be in one of 2 cells in here. No, that's not true, because that could be A as well. Sorry. Kind of jumping ahead a bit there. But clearly there is a lot of anti-knight move work we can do with this A. So for example, in box 8, this can't be A because, again, it will break box 5. So A is in one of these 2 cells, not in here because of classic, or one of these 2 cells, but not this one. This, unfortunately, doesn't break everything. Neither does this. Essentially eliminates these 2. It places A in here. It would place A there, and then I have A here and A there. So that all seems fine. And then obviously we've limited it to down here. So despite really pushing the diagonals and the anti-knight move, I'm still left with a ton of options. Let's think box 5, I mean, because it just eliminates so many in box 8. So this would be A, this would be A, this would be A, and I've broken it immediately. So A here, we still need one on the diagonal, that would be the only available one, and it breaks box 4. Eliminates all of the options with just classic Sudoku. So A is in one of 2 cells, this is not A now. We're really narrowing down our options, but there's still too many. Especially these. I'm not liking the fact that there's 3 of them and they're in different columns. We may have to think about D next. Yeah, D, very helpful. Where does D go on this diagonal? Well, it's not these 2 cells because we already placed it. It's not these 2 cells, we placed it. That's the only place for D. D up here is in one of 2 cells. D in this box is in one of 3 in a very weird shape. D is in one of 2. D is already placed on the diagonal, but I mean in here it'll be just chaos. So it's none of these cells. It's one of 3. So, and they're too far away for knight move to make much of a difference. So I think we're kind of stuck at this point on yeah, we're kind of stuck at this point. And we're going to probably have to look at the other letters. Not a fan, but I think we need to look at the reds now to try and just eliminate some of the options. We basically have one copy of each of the high digits. So the question is, can we use this to actually place some more? And I think the answer is yes, here is one. H, not on the diagonal, not Sudoku, H. H, none of these cells. This is not an H, by the way, because this is either AI or DF, and H, not with the knight move. Right, so we're on the right track here. And then H is in one of two cells again in here. Interesting. So the diagonals interest me, like this spot in particular, because we know it's not A. We've proven it breaks. Yeah, it breaks box 5, not on the diagonal, not the anti-knight move. So that's not A, it's not B, it's not C, it's not D, it's not F, it's not G, it's not H, and it's not I. It is in fact our last letter, the E. At least 16 minutes in, if we really wanted to, we can call this a 5 because we know it's not a high digit and it's not a low digit. It's the only one that's left. I think we're going to have to keep looking around for kind of careful placement, such as this H and this E. This could get very tiring for you guys to watch as I try and actually make a dent in this. So this is E or G. We've basically placed all the other 7. This column, if we think about what it has, it needs E, G, and F. This is not a G, it is E or F. Oh, hang on, and I need an I. This is not I. I is actually one of 2 cells. This is helpful. If we think about the diagonal now, this diagonal specifically, given I has to be somewhere in this column, and it has to be here, it's not on these 2 cells. Well, where is I on this diagonal? It can only be there. Sorry. It's in one of 2 cells in here in box 2. It's in here in box 6. Oh, this is very good. This is very good. Right. This is DF, and I know the order of it. I don't know why I didn't think about it as soon as I placed this pencil mark. Now, whichever one is the I, I've eliminated it from both of these. And remember, A and I partner together. So if I place an I in here, well, that's Sudoku, that's knight move. If I place an I in here, that's Sudoku, that's knight move. So none of these can be I, and we need an I in column 7. So this is DF, and this D eliminated this D. This is D, this is F. I like this. Neither of these are D now. That gives me this A, because that's the only place left for an A in column 8. That gives me a whole bunch of things. That will at least give me all the low digits, I hope. Yes, and it tells, oh, there you go, that's a big one. That's not A because of the knight move. That's A, and then the A here because of the diagonal. That's A, that's H. This D here removes this D. That's not a, that's the D. Neither of these are A. We're done with the A's. This D, that's the D. We're done with the D's. Now, I looked at that black crop cadet, and I was, I mean, it didn't really show it, but I was sort of like almost high-fiving at this point. I know that B is a 3. And if I want to now, I can replace all of these letters, I suspect, with numbers. Let me see if this is true. Not yet. I need to know what letter it is. And as soon as I do that, I'll be able to replace them all with numbers. But I know that this is 3 because it is not connected to A or D or C. And therefore I need a low digit that is an odd number from 1 and 3 that is connected to a high digit. That's only 3, 6. So as soon as we figure out what letter this is, we're kind of on the home stretch. Anyway, let's not celebrate too early. We still have a bit of work to get to that point. H is in one of 2 cells, classic Sudoku. It's not here because of anti-knight move. It is only there. H is none of these. I mean, we may as well just pencil mark whatever these are. This is F or I, meaning this is something we can actually place. This is G. This is E or I. This is, I mean, just thinking about what this is E, G or I. I is not here. This is E or G. This is E, G or I. It's a few too many options. This is another, oh, hang on, E, G. Where does F go? And yeah, F can't go there. That's F. This is again E, G, I, which gives me a triplet in column 7, and therefore I can place an F. Look at F. Only place for F now in box 5 is on that black Kropke dot. Not the diagonal, not classic Sudoku, not the anti-knight move. That's F. We have everything we need to actually start replacing all of these letters with numbers. I think purely for me, I'm going to just carry on with letters, but we're just sort of in there. I just immensely enjoy the reveals of Colorado at the end when you complete all the letters and you can just quickly replace them all with numbers and you have a totally solved puzzle. Something that I just immensely enjoy about this series. This is E or I. What are these 3? Can I actually, have I done all the diagonals yet? No. These 2 cells are not done. And I don't know how to disambiguate them yet. Well, these 3, we know what this diagonal is, surely. It's the only one left is G. These are EIs, and I don't see anything near me to help me disambiguate EIs. That means that's not an I, that's an I. That's an E. That's a G. That's an E. That's an I. That's an E. That's an I. E, I. Need an E in one of these 2 cells. It's not here because of the knight move. That's E. This is F and G. That's not F. That's G. That E gives me G here. How are we doing for time? 23 minutes. And not I. Come on, don't slow down now. We were going so well. So this is not A, B, C, D. I mean, what are the options? It's E, F, G, not I, H. Okay. So this is C, E, H. Kind of surprised this B and C are still like fighting every step of the way. E is in one of 2 cells in here just because they line up. So this is C or H. Rest of this row, C, H, and G. This is not G. This is not G. Why is it not G? Because we've already placed it. That's G. That's big. That gives me the C, the B. That C gives me a C in here. This is now EH. This is H. This is F. No. G. Do I have anything that sees these? No. Okay, we need F, I, and So I'm just going to quickly color some of these things. It actually helps me see. Right. So I'm missing a second FI and a B. I didn't pencil mark it. Okay. Another FI, you can see this cell is neither, just anti-knight move and Sudoku. So it's the other two things we need in here, which are H or, so it's FI, H, and E. So this is E or H. This is not E, not F, not I, it's just H. E, F or I, it's not F, it's I, F, I. So this is B or F. And I can't solve it. Well, it's not resolved yet. I hopefully will solve it. Kind of home stretch now. We need B. This is not I. That is I. We need B, F, and B, F. Am I missing something? I've got 3 high digits. Yeah, E. Where does E go? Not there, because of knight move. That's E, that's B, that's F. That E gives me H, E, that's F, that's H, and if I've not made any mistakes, that's G. Lovely. Right. Pardon me for the big reveal now. Right, we know this is 3. We know this is 6. We know D now is 4. We know A is 1. We know I is 9. We know C is 7. We know E is 5. And we know H is 7. Excuse me, I made a mistake. What did I replace with 7 early? Let's try that again. C is 2. Sorry. 5. What's H? H is definitely 7. And G is 8. And we're done. Beautiful puzzle, Florian. I want to say worth the wait, but please keep them coming. They're just absolutely phenomenal puzzles, and I immensely, immensely enjoy them. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle. You can tell from my reaction, I absolutely adored it and loved it. And hope you had a great weekend and that you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you back for the next one. Check out the rest of the XV series. They're all absolutely stunning. Bye-bye for now.